Praise the name of the Lord. I want to talk about altars and entering into God's rest. And I will read from Second Chronicles chapter 14 from verse 2. And Asa did that which was good and right in the eyes of the Lord, his God. For he took away the altars of the strange gods and the high places, and break down the images, and cut down the groves, and commanded Judah to seek the Lord, God of their fathers, and to do the law and the commandment. Also, he took away out of all the cities of Judah the high places and the images, and the kingdom was quiet before him. And he built fenced cities in Judah, for the land had rest, and he had no war in those years, because the Lord had given him rest. Therefore he said unto Judah, Let us build these cities, and make about them walls and towers, gates and bars, while the land is yet before us, because we have sought the Lord our God. We have sought him, and he has given us rest on every side. So they built and prospered. Child of God, I want to talk to us about rest. Sometimes we call it peace or refuge or to be secured in the Lord. The Hebrew word for rest or peace is the same, is shalom. And that word is deep because it's not just the English word peace, it's much more encompassing, it's much more embracing. It has so much other benefits under that umbrella word. Peace in Hebrew is not just absence of war, but it means prosperity, it means preservation, rest, deliverance, wholeness, wholeness, an absence of evil, both temporal or eternal. Here we discover something amazing, that King Asa began to destroy all the altars, the images, the groves, the shrine, and then begin to seek the Lord. In other words, sought the presence of God, sought the glory of God, so that God, who is the solution, who is the power, who is the presence, who is the glory, who is the security, who is the prosperity, the overflow, because God is everything, will come to the scene, will take over. And when he destroys or destroyed this altar, so to speak, he began to build, he prospered, he increased, he had rest. Today, I want to consider that word rest in a deeper way. If you go back to Solomon, King Solomon, God says something amazing about Solomon concerning rest. And I want to pick it up from Kings, 1 Kings chapter 5 verse 4. But now the Lord my God hath given me rest on every side, so that there is neither adversary nor evil occurrence. Wow. God is saying that when he gave you rest or has given you rest, just like Asa, there's no enemy or foe that will try to attack you or slow you down. And there is no mishap, hurricane, tragedy, evil happenings, stories, accidents, things we call unforeseen circumstances. God will shield you. God will protect you. God will pamper you. God will prosper you. God will increase you. God will multiply you because you understood sacrifice. It took a reform-minded king to change situation and circumstances for the better. How did he do that? He had to destroy the ancient altars that his forefathers, other kings before him, had set up. The evil shrine they raised, the oracles speaking against them, against their progress. Because every throne is established on an altar. Every house is established on an altar. Every congregation established in an altar. Every community, there is an altar. So what this king did, King Asa, was to destroy every evil altar and raise up the altars of the Lord, the altars of victory, which is a portal to invite God to the scene, to invite the holy angels and Holy Spirit to the scene, in the sense that they begin to build, they prospered, they had rest, there was peace, no enemy came, no interference, no attacks, no interjection, no demonic interference or impediment to their success, or hindrance, or any opposition, no challenge. They had the time or the luxury of time to build without enemy's intervention or without the enemy coming to cause trouble or issues or circumstances or slow them down. Let's look at what God said in Deuteronomy 7, verse 5. Say, but thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Wow. And if you pick it up from verse 9, know therefore that Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. Here is talking about generational blessings. What you will gain when you destroy the old altar, the ancient ancestral altars, the transgenerational altars, the altar of evil, altar of strange gods, the marine altars, the author of household witchcraft, author of domestic wickedness, author that you set up and thinking that these things will help. Even when the physical altars are no longer there, there are invisible altars that are speaking against people's destiny individually or as a family or as a community or as a group. And you begin to see evil pattern, trend, and cycles. Child of God, the best thing to do, even if you don't know, is to destroy the old altar, raise up a righteous altar, a holy altar, or good altar for the Lord, and then begin to offer sacrifice for the Lord, to the Lord, and ask Him to intervene. That's when prayer becomes effective, especially if you have prayed and prayed, the attack is still there, the spiritual warfare is still there, the problem is still there, and the issue, the circumstances, the challenge, the calamity, the adversity and struggle and problem or curse, if it's still there, the answer is deliverance by sacrifice. Altar versus altar. See what this king did that is so wise and so perfect in the eyes of the Lord that the Lord began to fight for him unreservedly, unmistakably, surely, steadily, and consistently. The Lord gave him rest. He also gave Solomon rest. David fought the battle for Solomon. But Solomon himself became even wiser and came and sacrificed 10,000 bullocks, 1,000 first, but during the dedication of the temple, 22,000 and 120,000 sheep. Imagine. So people are talking about 1,000 bullock, but they didn't see the one that says 22,000 and 120,000 during the dedication of the temple. God gave Solomon rest. For 40 years, Solomon was enjoying his life, marrying women upon women, 1,000 wives. And had time to write books, had time to speak proverbs, poems, compose songs, wise saying, creativity, witty inventions, wisdom was in his place. Understanding why? Because when he made sacrifice, God said, I can't just give you wisdom and understanding and insight and revelation. I will also prosper you, honor you, protect you. And that's the key. So God is the ultimate author. And if you understand rest, Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Say, take my yoke upon you, that my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Did you notice that it's still a burden? It's still a yoke, but it's light. It's not like the yoke of the devil. It's not like the yoke of the taskmaster. However, it's still a yoke. So whenever God asks you to do something, and you've heard about deliverance by sacrifice, you heard about sacrificing to God and raising up altars that will help your generational blessing that we just get out here, that generational blessing lasts up to 1,000 generation, but generational curse 3 or 4 generation. I don't know about you, but I want generational blessing. Sometimes the battle you are fighting now will not be for you alone, or for your family, or for your generation, or for your kindred, or for your people, or lineage, or pedigree, or family tree, but for future generation that may not have this understanding, may not have this knowledge and insight, may not even know God, may not even understand what spirituality is all about, because things are changing. But you have already fought the battle for them, just like David did for Solomon, secured the throne for him. Child of God, if you understand this, you discover that as I have rest. Now, I want you to examine something about rest. There is rest of mind, there's rest of the spirit, there's rest of day or situation or circumstances. Let me give you an example, because the Bible says in Hebrew that there remaineth a rest for the people of God. That he that has entered into his rest must cease from their own labor, their toiling, their human labor with toil, with sweat, which was part of a curse that Adam went through. Because in the garden, there was work, it was enjoyable, it was passionate. That was why the garden was the Garden of Eden. Eden means joy, delight, pleasure, ecstasy, happiness. That was the meaning of Eden. Well, the same way when the man was cursed on the ground for his sake and was removed from the garden, that was when toil came. That was when struggle came, hardship came. That was when suffering came with work. Before, work was easy. Well, God wants to restore it now for you and for me. But you have to do it with a sacrifice. You have to do it while offering God something, sacrificial offering, so that God will give you rest. Now, when Jesus said, come unto me, all ye that labor, did you notice it's still a yoke? There's still a yoke involved. But thank God his yoke is so light. Now, when you talk about rest of spirit, he's talking about the rest of your human spirit. No captivity, no proclivity. Your spirit will not be chained or emasculated. The enemy will try to summon or call up your spirit, but your spirit will not go to any witchcraft altar or cultic altar or demonic interference or interjection or imposition or demonic astral program and projection. They will not summon you. They will not attack you. You'll be protected. You'll be secured in God. You prosper. You will increase, because it's all these attacks, spiritual attacks, hindrances, opposition, dream pollution, cage of evil dream attack, anti-destiny dream, dream demotion, dream diversion, dream confusion, demonic siege, demonic attacks from and bombardment from every quarter. Is what slows people down. They don't even know that they are in warfare. A lot of people don't even understand spiritual battle, combat. But you see, God will give you rest from all those combats, all your enemies, all the plan and ploy of the enemy. Arrow will not shoot you. You wouldn't even know what God protected you from, because your sacrifice is speaking. Because the power of the altar is the strength of the sacrifice. Not just quantity, but quality of the sacrifice. What the sacrifice entails. If it's not painful to you, it won't be painful to God. Child of God, look at here. You know, apart from the rest of the spirit, when you go to sleep, the Bible says your sleep will be sweet. Your sleep will be pleasant. Your sleep will be devoid and free of nightmares and night terrors and evil dream attacks or dream bombardment or dream perversion or dream pollution or dream diversion or anti-destiny dream or dream demotion or dream denigration or diversion. See, when you have good dreams, your life, your destiny will be good. But when the dream is bad, trust me, what you are seeing in the natural, sooner or later, will also be bad. Now, that is your human spirit in the spirit world. When you sleep in dream, that's the only monitor. That's the only way you see people, what they are doing to you in the supernatural, which controls, rules, and overrules the natural. But when you do sacrifice, God will make sure your spirit is free, your spirit is energized, quickened, your spirit is protected, that no demon will penetrate your spiritual airspace or dream life, or dream memory, or dream antenna, or dream space in any way, shape, or form. Now, that is when you sleep like a baby. You have rest. See, some people will sleep, but they don't have rest. Their spirit will be tossing and turning, and then their spirit is in turmoil. There's crisis. Their spirit doesn't have rest. They had sleep, but no rest. God is saying that He will give you this kind of rest. Now, there's rest of mind, that your mind is settled. You are not worried about yesterday. You are not worried or regret about today. You are not worried about the future, what will happen when you are not there, what your children will do, how people will misbehave, what will happen when you are gone, and stuff like that. God will also give you the rest of mind, especially when it comes to finances. You don't worry about where the next money is coming from, because you are secured, not because you have property, because your security is in God, because your confidence and your trust is in God. You have rest of mind concerning money, concerning your family, concerning relationship, concerning investment, concerning everything that people worry about, including your health. The third rest that people don't talk about, and which a lot of people have made the doctrine of, is the rest of day. This is where we talk about Sabbath rest. A lot of people talk about Sunday as a day of rest, and the Bible didn't change it. It was Saturday. However, this is the only rest that is external that people know about, because if you don't have rest of heart or rest of the spirit and rest of mind, then rest of day will be nothing to you. So that's why God wants to give you rest on every side, in every way, in every form, in every fashion, just like King Solomon. But Solomon did a lot of sacrifice. Whoa, the more sacrifice you do, the greater you become. The higher you go, the more you are protected, the more God come into the scene. Let's even analyze this. If you understand the situation and